Hey there, StarCraft fans! It's Falcon Paladin coming at ya with yet another edition of StarCraft Brood War Remastered! And today in the Carbot skin, we have Beast versus Hiya here on Fighting Spirit. Top right-hand corner, it is the red Zerg player Beast. And in the bottom right, it is the purple Terran player Hiya. Two Koreans going at it. Got this as part of a giant replay pack off of TeamLiquid.net, a good place to go if you want Brood War replays. Also, BW Replays is a place that I go as well. And let's see, where else do I get them? Oh yes, the Foreign Brood War Discord server. If you want a link to the server, I can put it here in the description of this video, but I figure everybody who watches this already knows about it, so I don't know, I don't worry about it that much. So, TVZ here in the Carbot skin. If you don't know what Carbot is, it's just an animator named Carbot, well, named himself Carbot Animations. He just does a lot of funny and well-made cartoons about Blizzard products. Hearthstone, sometimes mostly StarCraft, mostly Warcraft, and sometimes a little bit of Diablo as well. So, I don't know, he got successful enough that Blizzard's like, hey, create a skin. Create a skin for Brood War, wouldn't you? And he's like, okay. If you're going to pay me to do it, this is a lot of exposure, and I have no idea how much they paid him, but I hope it is a lot, because it revitalized interest in Brood War. And I know the comments every single time I cast a Brood War replay, there are at least 3 or 4 comments saying, rah, 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 we hate the Brood War skin. Yes, I understand. I understand that you do, but there are some people that like it, and you can't always get to what you want. What the heck? Two drones coming out. See what's what out here. Just really making sure there's not a proxy happening. Just a quick little scout out to make sure there's not like a barracks over here or a bunker coming up here. That was pretty smart. I'm on board with that. And then the other drone scouting around to see what's going on. So actually cross-spawn scouting first, which I don't know that I've had a satisfactory explanation as to why players do this. Why would you cross-spawn scout first? The Overlord comes in, doesn't see anything because there's not an expansion coming up yet for Hiya. Okay, so he sees an SCV here, but again, that could just be scouting. I don't know. I guess maybe this one's already scouting, so it'd be weird if there are 2 scouting SCVs out. So the drone checks that. Basically, we can assume this is where the Terran player lives, is in the bottom right. Yeah? Seems like a fair assumption, if you ask me. So hatch into a pool here. Looks like about a 12-12er on the other side of things. It's got to be an expansion, yeah? He's waiting. He's waiting on the 400 minerals, and there it is, and there's the command center, ka-chunk. All right, fantastic. So sometimes people ask me, how do you know who these players are? That doesn't say Hiya versus Beast at all. True, it does not, but the replays that I get are labeled. They're usually in folders saying this is a bunch of games played between these 2 players, or the replay name itself helps me out to know who these players are. The Team Liquid replays are really, really helpful in that way. And I could be lied to. All right, this could actually be not Beast at all. This could not be Hiya, but I trust it. I trust it entirely thus far. I have not been led astray yet. At least not that anybody's been able to prove. So, on that note, Macro Hatch coming up from Beast. Yeah, nobody's really doing anything crazy yet. There's your gas. Gonna get a factory after you make a couple Marines here. It seems a little bit, perhaps, a little bit over. I was gonna say, oh, I thought that was a bunker. Never mind. If that was a bunker, I'm not sure what you're worried about here. That is a macro hatch, which means we are macroing hard, which means a 3rd base is coming up from Beast pretty soon. I would not expect a giant Ling flood to come across the map here, but the SCV is making sure the Lings stay here. And they are. Slow Lings, some of the worst units in the game, possibly the worst unit in the game of StarCraft. Both in StarCraft 1 and StarCraft 2. Slow Lings are poop. They are really bad units. But, I mean, technically they're a little bit faster than SCVs. This kind of ping-ponging is hilarious. Comes up here, takes a shot, comes back around, tries not to get surrounded, and then scoots on out of here. Metabolic boost is... Wait. Is metabolic boost not even being researched? Oh, there it is. Just got started. Okay. Either way, the SCV dies, and there's really not much to see here. Otherwise, did he start the lair after the SCV died? I think he may have. No, just kidding. That's been on the way. So he knows about the lair. And that's a 2nd gas coming up, so it looks like a Mutalisk opening of the day for Beast. Nothing too crazy. Again, nothing much to worry about here. Hiya has seen this about 8,000 times. He knows when to put up his missile turrets. He's going to keep making Marines. He's going to get stim, etc., and call it a day. Still no 3rd base, though. And these Lings, again, you're not getting in here. Just that's too small a number of Lings. Plus, this wall is kind of nice. Lings are at their best when they're surrounding units and killing them. But, not possible if there is a great wall of Marines here to shut it down. Still no third base. I mean, I guess you want the mutas to pop and take a third while the Terran player is defending like crazy against it. But I would really like to see a third here. I'm not convinced that Hiya could punish it. I mean, I guess if you're not going for lurkers, it's pretty hard to defend, so fair enough. Fair enough. I'm on board with what we're seeing here. Engineering bay is done, which means missile turrets can be created whenever wanted, and usually you want to start them right as that spire finishes, at the timing that makes sense there. There we go. Drone heading out for that third base. The Lings making sure these dudes don't want to come out. That's a good number of Lings here, though. They get a surround on that. That'd be a bad time for the Marines. I don't think all the Marines would die, but enough of them would die where they couldn't be offensively potent anymore. So the Lings are just making sure these dudes aren't moving out to shut down this third base. And in the meantime, are we seeing a Hydralisk den? No, he's also got a couple creep colonies up here in case the Terran does decide to move out. He'll have some Sunkens to assist. But so far, no. Just working on range upgrades for the Marines. The Spire is going to finish. The timing's going to be perfect, and we'll see some missile turrets starting sometime in the next 5 seconds here. How about 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Turrets. Hiya? Guy? Alright, Hydralisk den on the way for those lurkers. 9 mutas on the way. There we go. Okay, so within about 10 seconds, we got the missile turret started. Fine. The window's not as tight as I thought it was. It's going to be okay. So the Lings are, again, just trying to play the delay game here, making sure the Marines and medics don't feel safe just marching up and killing stuff. They are much safer to Beast when they're down here, just kind of protecting other stuff, and he can drone his face off. Still hasn't taken a third yet. He's up there. He's ready to take it, but not yet. Oh, these Lings and... That is a... Whoa! Whoa! Just flew right over those Marines. I think lost 2 Mutalisks for that medic. That is a trade Hiya will make any day of the week. By golly. Please, yes. Please come in and trade me 2 Mutalisks for a medic. That'd be great. Anyway, third base on the way. Lurker aspect coming in. Those two things are definitely related. This is a lot of Marine, actually, all of a sudden. From Hiya, he is up big time, man. He's up in worker count. And he is up in army supply, too. And, yeah, that was a pretty decent trade there, I'd say, from Beast. Wiping out a bunch of Marines and a couple medics. 3 Sunkens defending up here, but that's not a ton, as it turns out. What he needs is that lurker aspect to be done, and it is not done. It is 100%, without question, not complete. So, what are we doing here, guys? Well, Marines and medics are marching up very bravely in fairly large numbers here, too. Golly, has quite a worker advantage. 38 to 23. All right, man. I don't know how Beast is going to do this. That is a ton of Marine medic right there. They've got upgrades, too. They have the +1. They have the range. They have the stim. These medics or the Mutalisks, rather, are trying to play the pick stuff off game. I guess there are 11 of them now. So it's a decent number. It's better than the 5 they had previously. 4 Hydralisks in production. And the lurkers, I think, are going to be here in time. I am not sure what Hiya is waiting for at the moment. I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't know what he's waiting for. He's just split up his units for some reason. He's going to lose this whole right side. Ooh, wow. And a couple mutas go down, but that was, again, a better trade from Beast. So I think Hiya had a pretty fantastic position, but at the end of the day, he split his units. Beast took advantage. Oh, some free medics there. Hiya not really controlling his medics as well as he should, keeping them with the group. And, yeah, Beast is catching up. That third base is done. There are no lurkers to defend it. There's some lurkers on the way up here. They'd have to walk clear across this way, and, well, I don't know. I mean, if the Marines and medics went up here, I really think Beast would have to engage. He's only got 8 Mutalisks left. He's been spending a lot of resources on these lurkers, which he doesn't have. Lings joining the party. This group, again, splitting the party like this for Hiya is bad. If everybody was in a huge group, this would be much harder for Beast to handle. Oh, those lurkers got picked off. That's huge. Free lurkers. Problematic. And the third base is in a ton of trouble here, too. Some lurkers are on the way, but they're not there yet. It looks like the hatch is going to go down. No, hang on. Jumping right on in with the Lings and the Mutas. They do take out that group. Very nicely done. A lurker does come to burrow on top of the ramp, but it's only 1 and not 2. Is that enough to hold here against this bio? There's not a lot of bio here, to be fair. Yeah, and taking 3 of those Marines out of that count does not help things either. So, lots of Marines in production. Finally starting some tank production, though. Back home is Hiya. Alright, enjoying that quite a bit. This group, once again, Beast just doing a lot with not a whole lot. He's got 5 Mutalisks remaining and a handful of Zerglings. The Lurkers were hugely influential there. And maybe not getting kills, but definitely weakening that bio to the point where the Mutas could handle them. Defiler Mound on the way. Nidus Canal coming up 2 back home for the Zerg player. There is your Defiler Mound, which looks like it has like glue sticks popping out of the back there. I don't know why exactly, but end of the day, I mean, the Terran player is at 77 supply. He's got a 8 worker count lead on his Zerg opponent, so he's not dead, but I just feel like he's making some pretty terrible decisions as this hatchery is bleeding goop out of its eye. That just looks like it hurts, man. That's a lot of goop coming out of there, dude. I've had goopy eyes before when I've had cold. It's not fun. So the Lurkers are out. Defilers are out. Muta's trying to bait into these Lurkers here, but the scan says, you know what? Let's just head on home, why don't ya? Siege tank does get sniped by the Mutas. That's a major victory. Plus the Lurkers are allowed to get out of here too. Allowed to escape. I love that the Nidus Canal is just constantly screaming. Maybe singing based on the mouth movement there. I don't know. But end of the day, it's a 3-basing Zerg to a 2-basing Terran. So Beast is feeling all right. I don't see many complaints from Beast. He's got a ton of Lurkers here. The tank count is not so high. The Lurkers are in a huge amount of trouble. Like, you don't want to take tank hits for no reason, but if it's one tank, it's different than if there are 5. Dark Swarm is here, and let the game change begin. Yeah, burrowing under the Dark Swarm basically means we got to get out. We only have 1 tank. That splash damage is going to be pretty minimal firing on those dudes. Splash damage, again, is damage that is still taken inside of Dark Swarm. Perhaps we'll attack up to the 3rd base, where it is a little bit less protected, but the Nidus Canal means instant reinforcements out to the 3rd base. 2 Lurkers top of the ramp, and a Defiler shows up. And again, getting a Nidus Canal is so important to winning these TVZs. When I see Zerg players win TVZs, they have the Nidus Canal up to the 3rd base. It helps a lot. And really, more often than not, that's what we get, is the Nidus Canal. It just makes sense. Meanwhile, Hiya, no 3rd base guy. Not interested in that stuff at all, as the Terran music starts up here. I like it. I like it a lot. Is he? Oh, that Dark Swarm was in the nick of time. Was in the nick of time there. Those Lurkers were going to die half a second later. And the Swarm came up instead. That was humongous. Dude, Hiya. Oh, 3rd base. Thank goodness you're taking a 3rd base guy. Maybe even a 4th, if that SCP is to be believed. All right, man. Marines, medics, 121 supply. The Terran player is still up. But again, the tech choices here just definitely benefit the Zerg. He's got Scourge, Lurkers, Dark Swarm, Defilers. Sure, Science Vessels have shown up, which is fantastic, but the tank count isn't that high. And the times we've seen Zerg players really struggle late game versus Terran, we have the huge tank count. It's a mech. You pretend like you're playing against Protoss, it's just you're doing it against Zerg, and it's really nice. Dude, 3rd base from Hiya going down is a massive problem. He needs to save this. Oh, the Lings got greedy. The Lings got greedy heading on back. The control is not very good. And the command center lives. Sure, the SCV dies, but the command center staying alive is the more important stuff. Dang, that's really good. 4th base coming up now. Lurkers defending that one for the Zerg player. Once again, Marines and medics trying to handle this, but 2 Lurkers and a Dark Swarm is actually kind of all you need, to be honest with you. Defile Energy is being researched. Irradiates. Do you have enough for irradiates? No, this one does. Oh, but the Scourge! You're not protecting the Science Vessels! Protect the Science Vessels! Oh, I mean, the irradiates are doing great stuff, but if the vessels are dying, it's hard to keep that going, you know what I mean? Oh, nice Plague. Got the jelly all over them units. Ah, nostalgia. Let the nostalgia hit. Ultralisk Cavern coming in from the Zerg player. Dun dun dun. Dun dun dun. Dun dun dun. Dun dun dun. Dun. If you're going to win this at this point, if you're Hiya, you're just irradiating constantly. Irradiating every Defiler that you see, every single Ultralisk you see, every Lurker you see to some extent. Maybe don't go crazy on the Lurkers, because tanks can handle those pretty well if the Defilers are dead. But definitely prioritize those guys. So third base lives, and a fourth base from Hiya, and maybe even setting up for a fifth base here. Nice transfer of SCVs. Southern half of the map belongs to Hiya. He's kind of being allowed to get back in this game. I'm just saying, these guys are waiting for an attempted hatchery up here at the 12 o'clock position. The Marines are ready for it. Kindness plating on the way. Yep, that's what that is, as well as melee attacks for the ground melee unit. It's already +1 done. Let's work on that +2. The Marines, by this stage of the game, should have around 3-3. They got 2-2, and they are working on 3 attack, as well as 3 armor. So these will be a fully upgraded bio here sooner rather than later. It's pretty scary stuff, but Lurkers don't actually care all that much. And getting right on in, man. Ah, but then the Dark Swarm, again! They're like, we got this. Nope. Oh, what a beautiful play, catching all of those science vessels. Hiya, again, I cannot stress how important this is that Hiya is being let back into this game. The defense has been nice, okay? The defense has been really nice by you here, Beast, but you gotta start moving. You gotta start attacking bases. You kind of threw away your chance to kill this third. Again, it wasn't done yet, so it wasn't exactly a huge blow, but it would have been a blow to the Terran player. Just not happening here. Allowing the healing to happen after, right? Allowing the healing to happen after the plague is done is kind of a big deal here. If you allow the medics to heal during plague, oh gosh. Into Spore Crawler range, though. Brutal stuff. If you allow the medics to keep healing while the plague is active, you're actually going to drain all of the energy off of your medics. So keep that in mind. Still isn't expanded on the right side. Keep expecting Hiya to come up over there, but he's not. 176 to 139. The Terran player is so ahead in overall supply. He's down in worker count now, which is not ideal. You don't want to be down in worker count that much. Some Lurkers do actually burrow along this left side. There's not really a base to harass. It's just preventing Hiya from expanding over here if he wants to. There we go. See how this medic is healing? She is going to run out of energy here real fast and be of no use to anybody until that energy comes back. Or mana, or whatever it is on these guys. Let's call it generically energy. And there it is, see? You're endlessly trying to heal these guys, and it's not going very well, is it? Once again, trying to push into the fourth base for about the 5th or 6th time today is Hiya. The Dark Swarm just absolutely owns him, though, every time. Oh, that plague was disgusting. That plague caught so much of the bio here from Hiya. Got a bit of a Lurker drop attempt coming into what they thought was a base, but it's not. But there's one over here, guy. There is one over here, but the Marines are ready to shoot you out of the sky before you can unload. Ah, dropping in the third base. Attacking eggs for the most part, which is not really a priority target for you. Go after these drones, man. Kill the Nidus. Is the Defiler going to get a plague down? Oh, he Dark Swarms up here to keep his Lurkers in base defense position alive. Okay. Liking that. Attempted drop over here at the third base for Hiya. Actually gets it down. The Dark Swarm is up. The attack in the main base is still happening. These Lings are chomping away. Why are you attacking that hatchery? Kill the Zerglings. Ah, everybody's attention is really split here. These dudes are still alive. The medics are desperately trying to heal, but again, they have no energy to do so. This really is only 2 Marines. It's not going to be much of a threat. These Lurkers are more of a problem, though. Engagement in the middle. These Lings should all be pretty much dead, but again, Dark Swarm is the game changer. And Science Festival count is looking okay. Ultralisks coming to finish off the medics. And Hiya's okay. 191 to 176 supply. This is in super late game mode, irradiating every Ultralisk you see. Again, priority target for these Science Vessels. The Scourge want to kill something. Why do they keep stopping? Oh my gosh, they exploded. Ah, they did not do the thing. Alright, Mutalisk does take out a couple Science Vessels that have been previously plagued. That's not too bad. And I mean, just macro-wise, this is a lot of Ling and Ultralisk, and the way you beat this is tanks. We're kind of seeing a tank transition here out of Hiya, but it's only 2 at a time. And I only really see 1 on the screen in front of me right now, which is not ideal. Again, if you want to try to handle a ton of Ultralisks, running them into a tank line is a way to obliterate them for sure. Alright, so base stays alive up top left. Third base and fourth base are pretty happy. Finally expanding to a 5th. For what feels like the first time in 10 minutes here is the Zerg player, but Beast rolling into this army with the Ultralisks on top of these Marines. They're not really kiting. Nice plague on those dudes. Catching one of his own Zerglings too does actually consume them because they're going to die anyway. No, but the Irradiate wipes out the Defiler and the Bio stays strong. Not enough Ultralisks, not enough Plague, not enough Dark Swarm. Boy, howdy, I thought that could have gotten a lot worse for Hiya, but at the end of the day, it certainly did not. Not too bad. So, I mean, Hiya sitting happily on the 5 bases that he's got. The right side and left side bases have not been taken. Neither has the middle at this stage, which if you take that, usually you're pretty ahead anyway. This is kind of just throwing away your army, though, Beasts. That's not enough Ling and Ultra to handle that much. You are just running into a meat grinder there of a much larger army, economically and just in sheer numbers, too. Ultra dead on the left side, irradiating the Ultralisks, weaken them, much easier to kill them that way. Going for Anabolic Synthesis, which is faster Ultralisk movement, which helps a lot. This Lurker just trying to get out of here before bad things happen to it. Burrow! Burrow in, again, a fantastic plague on this Bio, but the Irradiates are never ending. Where did the Scourge go? Are the Scourge here is the question of the day. Heading on to the south, the Ultras are like, alright, if you don't want to engage with us, we'll head down and see if there are bases we can kill. And absolutely, you're getting up this ramp. There are like 5 Marines here. Get up the ramp. There we go. Two-shotting the Marines. And really not dying all that much either. Coming down to try to defend it as best as he can. Engagement up top. A bit of a drop. Does take down that 5th base that had just come up, it looks like. But Ultras should be able to defend for the time being anyway. The Ultras stop all mining down here at the 3rd base of Hiya and are still alive. I'm not sure what that guy is up to. He seems really confused, but these two are happily chomping away at this command center. This dropship still has stuff in it and is going to try to unload the natural base. Scourge will finish off the dropship, but the 2 Marines and 3 medics that managed to unload are not dead, and they are picking off drones one by one here. There's not much of a response to that. Oh, too much Zerg is being irradiated in the middle of the map right now. This is honestly too close to call. I like what we're seeing from both of these players. Obviously, they're both making mistakes, but again, this is StarCraft, and mistakes are part of the game. That's a lot of consumes I am hearing here. Yeah, man, suddenly it's a big amount of Bio just marching on in. Handful of Lings here and there. A Mutalisk comes in. That's not enough. A drone comes in. That's not enough. Where are all the Ultras? Where is the Plague? And there's the Dark Swarm. Okay, but no, the Marines actually benefiting from the Dark Swarm there. It doesn't actually cover the Sunkens because it doesn't help static or buildings anyway. That was a weird Dark Swarm out of Beast. Maybe it was a panic Dark Swarm. It did not work out very well for him at all. Natural Hatchery getting absolutely hammered down. Trying to bring drones in to attack this. It's 191 and 134 total supply. The Spire is going to go down. That's a massive tech building. No more Scourge for you. Units are escaping into Overlords, it looks like here. Maybe trying to do so. Consuming a drone to try to finish these dudes off. Dark Swarm comes up. Handful of Lings trying to handle it. Defiler goes down for casting the Dark Swarm. Great positioning here from Hiya. Back behind these minerals makes the Ultras that much worse because they can't really fit through here and they'll just get hammered to death by the Marine attacks. So that was a very effective attack out of Hiya. Beast just evacuating drones at this point and trying to use Lings and Ultras to get rid of the infestation of Terrans inside his natural base. Science vessels irradiating the Ultralisk, irradiating a Zergling and a group of Zerglings. Hey guy, you're stinky. Blah, everybody dies. Jeez. Are these guys still alive? Mostly. But also, this medevac or this medic is preventing this Ultralisk from getting up there because the pathing is stupid. Hey guy. No? Alright, that's cool. Engagement in the middle here, chasing the army away. Irradiates up. Lurker's getting some decent hits off there too. Zerglings pulling back. Ultralisk walks into tank fire and he's dead. Remember what I said about tank count? Causing some problems for these Ultralisks. Yeah. I don't know, man. I think Hiya may have done game-ending damage there. We're looking at a 198 to 133 total supply. This Marine is still alive. He's going to kill this Ultralisk all by himself, and he will tell all of his buddies at the bar today, assuming he survives this battle, that he killed an Ultralisk by his lonesome, and nobody will believe him. I wonder if they all have, like, kill cams in their helmets, right? And it records the whole thing. Oh, no! The Ultralisk got smart! But not smart enough. Dude, I am so enthralled by this story right now. Dude, this Marine, he's gonna do it. He's got 2 kills already. He did it! He did it! He killed the Ultralisk, now he's working on the hatchery. The tireless Marine that he is. Lings and Ultras trying to catch this army coming up at a weird angle and snipe them all down, especially these tanks. It'd be nice to kill these tanks. Ooh, Dark Swarm and plaguing up the tanks there. Tank count not super healthy. 1 going down, retreating from this position really hard. A lot of medics getting killed here. Dude, Beast. He won that engagement pretty well, I gotta say. Another tank down. But that Ultralisk is out before he can get back to the Dark Swarm. It was a good attempt. It was a good attempt by Beast. There's still... No! Hero Marine! He's getting healed by 2 medics, though! That part is not going to make it into the story. And then he says... Oh. No! The Zerglings! The fully upgraded Cracklings were too much. He will not make it home to tell his Marine friends what happened. Oh, that's so sad. Alexa, play Despacito. As my kids would say. Nice plague on those science vessels, though. God, the chaos right now. Lings under Dark Swarm, Ultras under Dark Swarm, providing damage to their Zergling friends. There is no... Okay, there is a Spire, because an Ultralisk is in... Or a Mutalisk is in production. How come you can heal this medic endlessly, but you couldn't kill that Marine... Or heal that Marine endlessly? I guess you can't. The DPS is too high. It takes a while, but eventually the Lings do get through. Oh, the little hearts. Guys. Trying to escape. This is the most tragic story of 2019. The deaths of everybody here. But check it out, a drop up north. Ultralisk saying no. Man, these medic buddies just healing each other forever. Pushing on up, 188 to 125. I feel like Hiya has been in the lead for the last 10 minutes, but he's just not able to close the deal here. The tanks are the game changers, though. The tanks are the closers of this situation. They're here to finish this off. Hey, look, another drop at the natural base. I don't know why. Like, I'm not going to lie to you. Once again, that Ultra does not want to go anywhere near those tanks. Anywhere near those tanks. I mean, the Ultra kind of getting in there is nice, but also dead. I mean, this is a problem Zerg players have dealt with for a very long time, is how do we handle a large tank count? Ultras aren't really the answer. They don't even have great upgrades. The tanks are only +1, but they're still doing ye old 75 damage per shot to the Ultras. So the armor doesn't really come into play with the Ultralisks. Their armor only negates 6 or 7 of the damage of that 75. That's why tanks are so good against Ultras. SCVs attacking in the main base. This is a weird game. This is such a weird match. Again, these two players are not the best the world has to offer, but they are good enough to give us some really entertaining stuff right now. Lings are all dead, 179 to 112. I just feel like we're just moments away from the Zerg player Beast tapping out here. I don't see what he can do about these tanks. He just doesn't have the army supply. If some Lings jumps right on this, like dropped on it, this running into it's not going to work out. He's trying to get the friendly fire to get it, but this is a last hurrah. Mutalisk's showing up. All right. Eventually, the Muta will kill these tanks. Not with Marine support, they won't. Big old drop at the 5th base, taking that sucker down, and the income is just not looking good at all. I mean, sure, Hiya hasn't expanded for a while. Actually, the right base is alive for Beast right now. But he's down 100 total supply, and that is entirely an army right now because they have the exact same worker count. Defensive matrix on both of these tanks here. Defiler, not sure what he's doing in this neighborhood, and that's your good game. Beast taps out, and Hiya throws the GG, having won in 30 minutes and 22 seconds. Woo! That was some chaos. That was some chaos. Brothers and sisters watching that game. Wow. We all love StarCraft. That was a lot of fun. Again, not the highest level play. This wasn't Flash versus Jaedong, but come on. It was a ton of fun everywhere anyway. Really enjoyed it. The upgrades were fantastic for both players. The Marine, Medic, Tank, Science Vessel play was fantastic. There was some drop play from Hiya. And again, what I think killed Beast here is he had an advantage and never really pushed it. Never really pushed up against these bases, you know, before there were a bunch of tanks and missile turrets here. The 3rd base was like the last time he really did sustained attack against the Terran player, and it hurt him. It hurt him a lot in the long run. But the drops are great. I mean, again, wasn't perfect in his response to everything, but his macro was good. He was always able to have another army ready to go after the one that he was using now died, and that's how you win games of StarCraft. So nicely done by him. End of the day, 225,000 points for the Terran, 205,000 points for Zerg, almost 1,000 units produced by the Zerg player, and about 650 of those killed by Hiya today. Resources favoring the Zerg player. So again, it's not every game that you can win if you have a better economy and more spent, especially 10,000 more spent, but just good control and good unit choices out of Hiya were enough. The tanks really sealed the deal and never really got completely wiped out in a battle type of a situation. He was always able to escape and kill a bunch of Zerg in the process. So nice job by him. And that's going to be it from me. So this has been Falcon Paladin coming at ya with yet another edition of StarCraft Brood War Remastered. Go ahead, hit that like button, hit that subscribe if you like what you saw and what you heard today. You can also catch me on Twitter, Facebook, Patreon, and Twitch, /Falcon Paladin. And until next time, as always, thank you so much for watching, and you take care of yourself.